to the warden, who locks him up here. Now, fast forward to the trial. Willie openly admits in front of judge and jury that, yeah, he stabbed his wife, but she deserved it. She was cheating. An autopsy revealed later in the week that the woman was clean as a whistle. But folks, guess what? If you openly admit in front of the judge that you happen to kill someone, you stab them to death, you're guilty. And that's the way it kind of works. The judge rules for an execution. And on the day of Willie's execution in 1906, you could say that the hangman had a little bit of a sense of humor. As he sat there adjusting the rope to Willie's throat, he asked Willie very politely, as if Willie was leaving on vacation at that very moment. He said, "Willie, what do you plan on doing when you get down to hell?" And Willie said without skipping a beat, "Well, my wife's down there, I guess I'll stab her again." Weight was dropped, his head flung right over the wall. See why it's my favorite execution? Now, if I were to go ahead and head on back downstairs, and we'll actually go down into the basement section, so if you would please follow me.
Sorry.
Stop anywhere here in the hall. Now folks, we have one more flight of stairs that we're going to be going down, and as we do, there'll be a little light that'll pop on to allow you to see the stairwell, but just for safety, please hold onto the handrail and follow me.
Thank you.
There'll be 3 more steps to be down here, folks. Now folks, down here on the first floor area, this is an area where you would mostly find guards and wardens. And there's a couple of different rooms that I want to talk about. The first one is actually called laboratory tonight. It's a room that you saw happen on your right-hand side. What this room is tonight, of course, is basically a workshop. Laboratory is a fancy way of saying workshop. But what it was used for, it was rented out by the Star Gospel Missions Baptist Church. They're still located in Somerville, South Carolina today. And they used to come every single Sunday and have worship service for the prisoners, as well as come on the day of execution to kind of confide with the gentleman. Next to that, you had this room. Today, again, another workshop, but it used to be a kitchen at one point in time. The food varied, of course, from year to year, but one thing that stayed kind of consistent was breakfast. You were given the option of grits. Grits mainly consisted of course, just regular grits and water, but one Union soldier stated that the grits themselves were actually so dried out and so tasteless, he actually had to go in the yard and pick grass just to make it taste like something. That's pretty sad, right?
Yeah.
Across from the kitchen, you happen to have solitary confinement, basically used for those who attacked a guard or a warden one too many times. They would be placed there for several days. And then you have this room, which tonight's a plaster room. I speak about that room because I usually try to hit 3 different topics while on this tour. I will normally try to talk about history, because, well, without history, nothing else in the tour makes sense. I talk about storytelling, basically the lives, the legends, and the stories that have been through this building, talking about prisoners and wardens and guards. And then I also try to hit a paranormal activity. I've had folks come on this tour with anything as simple as a voice recorder and a digital camera, and I've had folks come here with K2 meters and night vision goggles, looking for things. And from all those who are searching for the unknown, I always get asked the same question. In your opinion, Which room do you believe is the most haunted? Well, in my opinion, I think it's that plaster room. Here's why. That room was actually used during the Civil War as an infirmary. Now, if you were in the hands of one particular doctor, you could just kiss your life goodbye. And I'm pretty sure everyone here has read about or seen a movie dealing with the Civil War. And you'll always hear that the war split families apart. This was true, particularly with this one doctor. His name was Dr. George Rogers Clark Todd. He was one of 5 kids in his family. And when the Civil War broke out, he and his older brother, who was a captain in the military, happened to be very, very pro-Confederacy. So yay, Jefferson Davis. The other 3 siblings happened to be very, very pro-Union, in particular his sister. His sister was Mary Todd Lincoln, married to Abraham Lincoln. There was an extreme amount of hatred for his brother-in-law, Dr. Todd had. And fighting in Bull Run and being with the 10th Georgia Infantry, he was actually designated to be a field surgeon. Now, as a field surgeon, you are not picking and choosing your patients. You're supposed to see someone who can actually need help. You're not supposed to see whether or not they were wearing a gray jacket or a blue jacket. Dr. Todd, however, would march through the fields, finding the bodies of dead Union soldiers, and kick them as hard as he possibly could while screaming at the top of his lungs, "Damn abolitionists." He eventually got into a little bit of trouble. To keep him from getting court-martialed, his brother sent him here to Charleston. He was actually placed here at this jail so he can work on amputees. Now, I don't know what the actual survival rate of an amputee was back during the Civil War, although I have seen pictures. But I'm pretty sure if Dr. Todd was working on you, you didn't have a chance. See, medical school back in the 1800s was only a year long. 1 year, you'd be a doctor. You basically can carry 3 different tools with you and work on anybody, especially for amputations. If you carry the scalpel, this is easy to cut through any type of flesh and muscle. You carry wire cutters to cut through the tendons, and then you carry a hacksaw to cut through the bones. They called it bone saw in that time. With those 3 tools, you can go ahead and rip